As a feminine woman, we like to be pursued, right? We like to be in our feminine energy, to not be the pursuer, but to be the nurturer. And when it comes to dating outside your culture, this is something that you have to be mindful of. If it's a case where in that culture, the male is more relaxed, not necessarily not in his masculinity, but he's just more relaxed and it's based on the culture. So that's something that you have to be mindful of, because as a woman in our feminine energy, sometimes we don't understand that there are times that we may need to adjust or adapt to our partner's culture based on the cultural differences. So it's not necessarily just like language barrier, but it's how we communicate, how we date each other. So these are things that you need to be mindful of when dating outside your culture, because in the normal sense of the word, you would expect that the male would be the one who pursues you. He's the one who makes the first move. But one thing I found out is that oftentimes, and again, it depends on the culture. So this is not necessarily for every time you're dating outside your culture. But one thing I found out too is that in some cultures, they are really more reserved, and the female is the one who needs to make the move first. Now this is difficult for most people to make the move first. So what I want to find out is it something you think you could do if you were faced with this situation? Could you make the first move in dating your partner? And this is females now. So as a woman, could you make the first move, or are you willing to make the first move to actually tell the male that you are interested in them? Or would you just sit around and wait for them to come around? Because sometimes if you sit and wait for them to come around, it never happens, right? And you have to decide that, okay, if this is the culture, I will have to adapt and adjust to it. But that does not mean you cannot remain in your femininity. At the end of the day, remaining in your femininity allows your partner to love you more, to help to give and to help you be the nurturer in the relationship, because as women we are the nurturer in our relationships. So even if you have to make the first move, that does not mean you cannot remain in your feminine energy. So the question is, would you be willing to make the first move to tell someone that you are interested in them? And this is when you're only dating someone outside your culture. So this is not the norm, right? This is not your norm. But if you find yourself in a situation where you are in a culture that the males are more reserved and they wait for the females to approach them, is this something that you could do? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Talk to you soon. Bye.